Ho, ho, ho. It's not Christmas. It's not even close to Christmas. It's the middle of summer, uh, and you're listening to the WODcast Podcast. I'm your host, Eddie Ifft. We got a great show for you this week. Very, very, very amazing, talented, sweet, nice, funny, friendly girl that is going to the CrossFit Games, Michelle Basnett, on the show today with me here in North Carolina, down here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I have a lot of things to tell you. I was saying ho, ho, ho because it's Merry Christmas, because we have a Patreon winner. Every week, we give away a Mile Pucks and a Leopard Claw. No other show does this. No other show. All you have to do is donate. You listen to the show. We know you listen to the show. It's $5 a month. That gets you 5 episodes. 5 episodes a month. Everyone else gets 4. You get 5. What else do you get? You get a Mile Pucks and a Leopard Claw. They're awesome. MyoPucks is an electronic muscle stimulator that you use for injury. Every time you get an injury, you use it to rehabilitate. I use it constantly because I am constantly hurting myself because I'm too old to do the shit I do. A Leopard Claw, same thing. It's a multi-tool that you use to scrape adhesions in your fascia. Google it. You'll learn how to use it. You'll use it all the time. The MyoPucks is just absolutely needs to be in everybody's arsenal of rehabilitation stuff. If you've just got like a lacrosse ball or something like that or some voodoo floss, they're great. But you know what's better? A MyoPucks. So donate $5 a month. You help out the show and you get one of these. You can also help out the show by going to iTunes and rate, reviewing, and commenting. We get ranked. The Rose episode went really high. I thought that was going to happen. It was like top 30. The Patrick Vellner episode, weirdly, that was the one that went to number 9. I got to take some screenshots of this and post it because it's pretty awesome that in health and fitness in the entire podcasting world, this show gets to number 9. Like to get it to number 1. I would like to, but that would require you guys helping me and spreading it and making it viral. Going out there and telling your friends in the CrossFit world, hey, you got to listen to this show, the WODcast. This guy, he's just a giant piece of shit, but he talks about good stuff. Sometimes he's funny and sometimes he's lazy and doesn't care and doesn't try to be funny at all. Sometimes he asks good questions, but sometimes he talks about himself. Well, all the time he talks about himself because he loves to talk about himself. I don't know why. I do, but I do. It's just because it's the only thing I know. I don't know anything else, but I know myself. I want to congratulate Nick Hall. Nick Hall, who is the newest winner of a MyoPucks and a Leopard Claw. Nick, thanks for supporting the show. I appreciate it very much. We'll get that out to you. Send us an email at wodcastpodcast@yahoo.com. I think we're all caught up. I think. If you haven't gotten yours, let me know. So, here is the deal. The deal is I'm performing live in a lot of places coming up. And I mean a shitload. Starting with, I got a big show coming up August 20th. Why do I feel like I have a show on August 1st that I should be promoting? I feel like there's a show that's like really important on August 1st. Let me see. I can do it. I can check really quickly while we're on the show. No. Oh, yeah. I'm doing a little gig down at the Canyon Club down near my house, down there in the mountains of Malibu. It's back in Agora. That is the Canyon Club. That's not a big deal. It's just me working out material. I shouldn't have even told you about it. Number two, got a gig, big gig. Friday the 20th of August, I will be at Sea Legs Live. That is a beach show in Huntington Beach. It's an awesome venue. It's outdoor. Show is so much fun. Everybody sits on the beach, drinks. It's like a bar. It's a real bar on the beach. And it gets packed. It's like 500 to 1,000 people. I don't know. It's huge. And tickets do sell out. So get your tickets. Check out my Instagram. There's postings for it, and you can buy your tickets to it. And then I'm just going to list you the cities that I will be going to. They're all listed on eddieifft.com. And that doesn't mean those are the only cities I'm going to. It just means these are the only bookings in so far that I have. And I'm just going to ramble through them because I don't want to give you the dates or the venues. You just can go to the sites and get my site and get all that information. Here we go. Ventura, California, Kansas City, Atlanta, Sunnyvale, Las Vegas, San Diego, Plano, Texas, Portland, Oregon, St. Louis, Los Angeles, Wilmington, North Carolina, Naples, Florida, Key West, Florida, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, Los Angeles, California, Reno, Nevada, Bozeman, Montana, Wasilla, Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Scottsdale, Arizona, Boston, Massachusetts, Ketchum, Idaho, Vancouver, British Columbia. Okay? There it is. Those are all the cities that are booked right now. Australia, we don't know what we're doing. Get your tickets. Go to eddyift.com. A lot of the tickets are for sale now. Some of them have not been posted yet. If they are not posted, they will be. This tour is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and shows are already starting to sell out. So I don't know what's happened, but I think I'm starting to get a career, and people have just found me. I think they just ran out of comedians, and I was all that was left. And they were like, oh, well, I guess we'll go buy tickets to this guy. So, like I said, a lot of those shows are selling out right now. So get your tickets. That Bozeman one's going to sell out for sure. So get your tickets to that one. What else? I don't think there's anything else to tell you. So that was a really quick intro. I might go to the games. Should I go? Do you guys think I should go? Yes or no? Let me know. Send me a message if you think I should go to the games. It's, I feel like I can watch it better on the internet, but you meet so many people there, and but it's hot and the travel. I don't know. I might go, might not. Tell me what you think. Send me a message. Always WODcast Podcast at yahoo.com, or my Instagram is at Eddie Ifft. My Facebook is Eddie Ifft. My Twitter is at Eddie Ifft. My TikTok is at Eddie Ifft. My whatever. So go to all those. And you can message me. You can DM me. Slide into my DMs. Slide in. Roughly slide in. Roughly. Scratch your way into my DM. Let's see. I think we should just get on with the show. How about you? What do you think? You think so? I think so. So with no further ado, Michelle Basnett. Hi, I haven't seen you in so long.
It's been forever.
It's been, I feel like it's been like, I don't know, maybe
20 minutes? What?
20 minutes, yeah. I just worked out at your gym. You got a shower, I didn't.
Okay.
I came home and my kids were in the driveway throwing water balloons at each other, so I had to do that for like 5 minutes.
Solid. I like it.
So how's it going? Congratulations, first off. I just want to say this is your first birth to the CrossFit Games, the Games. You've been trying for how many years now?
Good, like 4 or 5 years.
And you're
so going on 5.
You're so young, though.
I started when I was like 17. I started CrossFit when I was 17. I really only got competitive with it when I was like 20, 21. So.
Oh my God. I started when I was like 35 and I got competitive with it. Never. I knew that I didn't have it. No, but that's amazing. So you qualified out of South Africa.
Yes.
You've tried that a few times though, right? In South Africa?
Yeah. The first time I went was, the sanctional that they had. And, that was kind of my first elite competition. And so this year, I think it was a bit different, just the way that it was only by continent and it wasn't worldwide competitively. So yeah, it was my second time trying to qualify through Africa.
So like last year not last year, but the year before when they were doing one from every country, were you trying to be the one from South Africa?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think that was when they went through the open, right? Or was that the sanctional? Because last year was COVID. I don't remember.
Yeah, I get so confused by it
I
all.
know.
And this year, I've got to say, and maybe it's just me, but this year might be the most confusing of all to me.
You think so? I think this has been like the smoothest year in like a couple years now.
It might be for competitors.
Right.
But I don't understand, like, I understand the Open, and then I didn't know that there was like a quarterfinals, a semifinals, and then a finals.
Yes.
And I honestly liked back when it was like Open, regionals, and then finals. That was the easiest. This is really hard.
Fair.
And the fact that people can qualify in from all these different places, and I would just hate to be the one in charge of organizing that. So, but whatever works.
And it's changed so much over the years. Like since regionals, I feel like it's kind of changed every single year. So I hope it kind of settles into this a little bit. So that way we like know our season, we know what to expect.
Yeah.
Because like the last 3 years, it's been a lot of unknowns, you know?
Well, whatever works best for you guys. Because look, I enjoy watching it, but it's not my deal. I don't have to deal with it. And I like to see it be fair for the athletes and don't want them hurt and don't want them like killing themselves. And it used to seem a little like insane, you know? So a lot of burnout and, but that's pretty impressive. I mean, you come from, you have a cheerleading background?
I do. Yeah. That was my sport growing up, was competitive cheerleading. So like not the sideline cheer at a football game. It was the ones where you had like a 2-minute routine and like throwing the girls up in the air, the tumbling passes. That was my sport ever since like middle school.
Oh my God. So you're in the mean face cheerleaders, the ones that are like, go team, go. Let's win
Something
now.
Like that.
Yeah, there's like I've always said there's like 2 different kinds of cheerleaders. There's the cheerleaders that come out with the pom poms and they're like, "Let's go, team, let's go! Hey, I love this. I hope I get to sleep with the quarterback." And then there's the kind like you that are like, "We will kill."
Right.
And it's like I'm more afraid of the cheerleading team than I am the football team. Like these girls look like they could come out and beat the football players. So you're like the ones that go to ESPN and compete.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I made it up to that level, but we never made it. My team specifically never made it to that competition. And that's like the Worlds for cheerleading was like the games for CrossFit. So when my team fell apart my senior year, I kind of like transitioned into CrossFit. And that's how I got into it from cheerleading.
Did you grow up in Charlotte?
Yeah, just outside of Charlotte, the Lake Norman area. So my family moved here when I was like 4.5. So I've grown up in Cornelius since then. Okay.
So my wife was a cheerleader growing up, and she grew up in Greensboro, but her family lives here now in Lake Norman. That's weirdly how the whole connection of why I'm here. And but I just read recently they were talking about the most dangerous sports, and like number 2 was cheerleading.
Yes. Yeah. And a lot of people don't think that, but I mean, like you were like throwing girls in the air, the tumbling that you have to do. I mean, when I'm my cheer team, I remember girls got their teeth knocked out, dislocated their elbows, like all sorts of injuries.
I was just about to ask you, what's the worst thing you've seen?
Probably the dislocated elbows. 2 sisters, they both did like the same tumbling pass and both dislocated their arms. And I knew this one girl who like did a tumbling pass and she like either broke both her ankles or like broke one, sprained one, but literally the pain was so intense that she just like passed out as soon as it happened.
What is a tumbling pass? I don't know what that is.
Basically, like when they do flips across the floor.
Oh yeah,
they go from one corner of the floor to the other.
Yeah.
And they just like do all these flips. That's a tumbling pass. Yeah.
I was just talking about this with somebody, and I've talked about it on the show a million times. Like, gymnastics is like the most badass thing in the world, but for some reason, like women are always respected for doing it, but men that do it, everybody's like, "Hey, look at the guy over there doing flips and shit." And it's like, yeah, that guy that's like risking his life, triple corking, flipping in the air, like 8 feet in the air and then landing on the ground. Yeah, that's real, feminine over there.
But they also, the male gymnastics or gymnasts have like such strength, like the body control and strength that they have to do like their events compared to the women is just as insane. Like crazy. It's a crazy sport.
Aren't there a bunch of events in male gymnastics that women don't do? Yeah,
they're male to female. Their events are different.
Yeah. women don't do the what? The parallel or the
The
uneven bars.
horse.
Oh, women don't do the horse?
Yeah, and then the men have the rings, I think, and the men have the parallel bars.
Right.
And then I think the common thing that they have is the
the uneven parallel bars. They both do that one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's the most like, I don't know like why it's gotten in that category of like football's like tough guy sport, hockey's tough guy sport, gymnastics, no.
Just, yeah, another level.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to be said to like an individual sport to a team sport too. You know, like gymnastics is kind of a team sport, but at the same time it's not. So
I'll tell you what it is. Somebody made me aware of this the other day. We were talking about the Olympics coming up, and we were talking about track and swimming are easy for people to watch because it's, if you're the fastest, you won.
Right.
The problem with gymnastics and these other new sports that are coming in, like skateboarding, surfing, they are judging based. Right. So it's, what did the judges say? So if someone at home's like, that's bullshit, that was better than that, there's no bullshit, and that guy crossed the finish line first. And it's
right, exactly. Yeah. It's like more black and white. Yeah.
So CrossFit is one of those sports. You cross the line first, you win. There's no
you lift the heaviest weight, you win.
It's not subjective at all. And there's a new sport in the Olympics, which I think is pretty cool, that I wish they would incorporate, and this is me saying this and hoping Castro's listening, rock climbing. I would like to see I would like to see speed climbing incorporated into CrossFit. And
so is speed climbing with a harness then?
Yeah, you wear a harness, but you've got a wall with climbing holds, and you've got to get to the top faster than the guy. As fast as you can. And wait till.
Have you seen the rock climbing like over water, like a pool?
Oh yeah. Oh, they have it here in Charlotte.
They do, yeah. I'm gonna go there tonight, actually, after this.
Oh, that's hilarious! I'm going there on, I think, Thursday of next week.
Nice, yeah.
But Charlotte has that great whitewater rafting center, or whatever you call it, whitewater center. The climbing, I think people are going to be blown away by watching it in the Olympics this year of how fast these climbers get up these walls. They look like monkeys.
I believe it. I'm excited for that. I didn't even know that was joining, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, rock climbing, skateboarding, and surfing are the new events in the Olympics. But what are you preparing for any strange events in the CrossFit Games this year?
As best as possible. And like, I know that there's going to be something that's just like, I feel like Dave's really good about always doing like something super unknown, like just throwing something super crazy for everybody out there. So I'm kind of intrigued as to what that'll be. Mm-hmm. And I think the format is like Wednesday on, Thursday rest, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, as far as I know. So we have that rest day. Sorry, it's a dog, but
okay.
If we have that rest day, then I'm assuming Wednesday is going to be like a really heavy day. Like I think the last time they did this, they had that marathon row plus 2 other events. So I'm trying to prepare as best as possible, but I feel like there's going to be that unknown event no matter what.
I assume gymnastics is your specialty.
Yes.
But
and weightlifting, I would say.
You do like heavy lifting?
Yeah. And I think that's why the cheerleading like transferred so well. Like I was always a base. I always picked people up. Like I never went up in the air. So me like lifting girls transferred really well to weightlifting itself. Yeah. And I did that competitively for 2-3 years before I started competing in CrossFit.
Oh, wow.
And then the gymnastics I picked up well.
How did you get introduced to weightlifting?
So I was at the gym, CrossFit Cornelius, that I'm at now. And there's this guy at the time coaching like the evening weightlifting class. And funny enough, he was actually an amputee. He only had one leg, but he was like super into weightlifting. And I would come to the class to try to just get a little bit better at it.
Let me ask you, he was really good at those Romanian deadlifts?
So good. Like that was his best movement, actually. Super like funny guy too, just kind of like quirky. But he said to me, he was like, you would be really good at Olympic lifting. And I was like, dude, like, what are you talking about? Like, that's so weird. I'd never seen a competition, never, like, barely even heard of it. I didn't understand any of it. And then I think the next year I got into an Olympic lifting meet and happened to qualify for nationals. And
Wow.
so we just kind of went with that for a little bit. And that was really cool too.
I love those stories of people like, I had no idea. And the next thing I know, I'm at nationals. They were like, pick this up. I did it. And they're like, hey, you're one of the best in the world. But you were at CrossFit already. You were working out at CrossFit. How did that happen?
So same thing, like my team, my senior year for cheerleading fell apart and I didn't know what to do with my free time. Like I didn't know what activity to do. And my dad at the time was doing CrossFit. So he was like, just come try it. You can at least just work out. I remember going to my first class and the class started pulling out these barbells and I had never seen a barbell in my entire life. And I was like, this is the weirdest shit. Like I didn't like it at first. I thought it was so strange. But I initially started going just to work out and like keep my body in shape.
Right.
And then later through the years, I got into the competitive side of it.
Does it bother your dad that you can kick his ass?
Not anymore. I think he's accepted it.
But it did.
I think he's like, all right, there's nothing I can do.
When you started beating him, did he get competitive at all?
Wait, say again.
Did he get competitive at all when you started to beat him?
I think maybe he wanted to, but honestly, my dad's mobility is so bad. Like he's limited. Yeah. So I think he knows his lane. Yeah. Cause
I've got a 6-year-old and it'll be like another year before she starts beating me. But,
I believe it.
But,
there you go.
Yeah. But I can see, like wanting to help her. And as soon as she starts beating me, I'll be like, you're on your own.
Done.
Why don't you figure this stuff out? You were born in South Africa though.
Yes. Yeah. I was born there. My family was born there, my parents and everything. My grandparents brought my mom and my dad over because they got the opportunity to go to America. And that was like a huge thing back in 2000. So they brought my family over.
Do your parents have the South African accent?
They do. Yeah. My mom and dad do.
That's awesome.
My oldest brother has a little bit of it, but like me and my middle brother lost it when we were, growing up. So we kind of adapted to the accent here.
Does your dad sound like the South African bad guy in the movie Die Hard?
Probably to other people. I can't actually hear his accent, which is so crazy. But like other people are like, oh my God, that accent's so cool, or it's so weird,
I am a big fan of South Africa. I've been there probably like 5 times and I just love the place. Again, I luckily get to go to the nice parts of South Africa. I have been to some scary parts.
Right.
Are they from Cape Town or Joburg?
Yeah. Cape Town.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The nicest place in the world.
It's so nice. So pretty.
It's so nice. So you got to go there. I saw on your Instagram, you're not one of these CrossFitters that all you do is CrossFit. You went and did everything you could do in Cape Town. Like it was like, oh yeah, by the way, I think I have a CrossFit event to go to. It seemed like it seemed like you were on this like amazing vacation, and then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot I have to CrossFit.
I definitely got to enjoy a lot of things, and I had some people travel with me that had never been before. So I wanted to do like a lot of the big events, like Lion's Head and Table Mountain, and just see the coast and everything like that. So there was a few days before the competition that I had already tested all the workouts, and I had already, kind of did all my prep. So I had a few days of downtime, and I definitely like took advantage of them. But I just love that place. There's so much to offer there.
So pretty. Did you hang glide or paraglide off Lion's Head?
Not this time, but I have before. When I was 17, I did that.
Yeah, I did that. I not a lot of things scare me. About 2 minutes into that, I was like shitting my pants. I was like, oh my God, I'm over the city now. I didn't mind being over like the hills and the cliffs and everything, but as soon as I was over the city, I'm like, we're gonna hit a building. I don't want to hit a building. You have to go over the town to get to like, I think we landed in Camps Bay or something, and and I was just like, don't hit a building, because there was a guy. You're like, it's kind of weird for a dude too, because I'm like sitting on a guy's lap. And, like doing this, and I'm just like, wow, I felt so beta male. Like this guy's like, I got you. You just sit on my lap and I'll take you and we'll land you right there on the beach and you can have a cocktail, little boy. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, the landing like isn't any better. You just like, you get like to your feet and then it's just like scooting on your ass the rest of the way.
Yeah, it was awkward. And, but I mean, it was amazing. And I saw you went shark diving.
Yeah. That was like when I was younger, very, very cool. Shark diving. And there's also bungee jumping.
I saw
which
you
is
did
further
that.
up the coast. Those are probably like my two favorite things. So
where did you do the bungee jump?
So that's, it's like up by, I think it's called Garden something, Victoria Bay. Like it's like 4 or 5 hours up the coast. And I think it's the third highest bridge in the world. And so the whole experience itself is just so fun. You walk underneath this massive bridge and they actually zip line you to the middle of the bridge. And these guys are like dancing and singing and there's music playing. And then they like strap you up.
Everybody needs to go to your Instagram and watch your videos of it because I saw it. I didn't get to go there. And I think it's like the highest bridge in the world. I remember reading about it and going, because we were doing everything, jet boating, and I was there on a comedy. We went and I did the Cape Town Comedy Festival. And every day I'd wake the other comedians up, and the comedians usually just sleep in and then do the show and get drunk and sleep in again. But every day I was waking them up. I'm like, signed us up for shark diving. And like every day we're going jet boating, we're going hang gliding. And
all the activities.
And we were going to do bungee jumping. And I was like, this is the one that might scare the shit out of everybody, including me. And when I saw your video, I was like, I'm so glad I didn't go to this. Not because how high it was, and it's super high, and like I can't believe you did it. But the scariest part were the guys that were in charge of you jumping. I wouldn't let these guys jump rope with me, let alone bungee jump. Like they were fooling around, and I'm like, you're going to jump off a 1,000-foot bridge and these guys are like dancing and like not paying attention and
having a good old time.
They're like, la, 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 here, we'll clip you in, ba, da, da, go ahead and jump, ba. And then you went ankles for, didn't you get clipped by your ankles?
Yeah, so you get strapped in by your ankles and they like hop you to the edge and then they're like 1, 2, 3 bungee, and they kind of like, I've seen times where people are too nervous to go themselves, so they'll kind of just like push them off a little bit. And it's the first time I went face forward and the second time I went backwards.
You did it. You did it again?
Yeah, I've done it twice. Yeah,
oh
but it's one of my favorite things. You literally just jump and you're like flying through the air. Like it's insane. Like,
I've done it. Crazy. I don't enjoy it. I've parachuted and I've done that. I did it. My buddy has years ago had a place. Worked at a balloon company, like where you hot air balloon up and then you bungee jump down. And the good thing about that is they let the hot air balloon down so you don't have to get cranked back up.
Oh, okay. That's smart. So they literally just lower you to the ground?
Yeah, and then take you off.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, but to my one friend, they did this prank on him. Well, he was jumping backwards. They go 1, 2, and you have a carabiner that you're locked in. They go 1, 2, 3, and as he jumped off, the guy had an extra carabiner in his hand, and he went, wait, and just held it up, like in front of his face as he was like falling off, and he chased him around for like an hour on the ground, like wanting to murder him.
That is so terrifying. That's so funny though.
So with you though, did they crank you back up?
Yeah. So you hit you do the bungee and like, it doesn't hurt. A lot of people think that you look like a slinky. It's insane, but you're eventually done bungeeing, I guess. And this guy comes down in this little pulley system, hooks you right side up, and he's just taking you back up to the top, and they take you up to the other side of the bridge.
I was worried that they just like pull you back up and you're upside down, and I'm like, doesn't all that blood rush to your head? You're just like, I can't, I'm starting to get lightheaded now.
A little dizzy.
But they come down.
and get you and turn you right side up. So you're like sitting.
Still spooky. Still spooky.
Bucket list. Next time you go.
Yeah, but it's also South Africa where they have different laws and their safety. Like when I was shark diving, I was like, hey, can like, he goes, get in the cage. He goes, get in the cage. I was like, are you going to like teach us like what to do? And he's like, yeah, look at the sharks. And I'm like, okay.
Don't stick your hands out.
No. So I asked him, I go, can I put my hands outside like to hold on to the bars? And he goes, yeah, if you want to have the sharks bite them off. And I was like, well, maybe you should explain where we should keep our hands and how we should hold on underwater. And then afterwards he's like, hey, you want to go surfing? And I was like, no, I never want to surf again. I just saw monsters. Yeah. But you were saying the great whites are gone.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're still gone, but they kind of got scared out of the area. Or so at first they said like orca whales like scared the sharks out of the great whites out of the area. I don't know that that's true anymore, but I know that the cage diving business kind of got hit with that because their whole thing is that you can swim with great whites, and they didn't have any for like a good like year and a half. So
wow, because when we went, they told us, they're like, hey, we guarantee that you'll see sharks. And they're like, if you don't, you can come back. And I was like, oh yeah, so I'm going to spend like 8 hours on a boat looking for sharks. I don't see them. And then I can come back the next day and
do it all again
and look for no sharks again for 8 hours. No thanks. But we were lucky. We were out for about 4 hours and there were no sharks. And they were putting fish oil in the water. And then one of the boats radioed our boat and said, we have them. And then we went over to the guy said, we have to wait for a while and let them play with them. And he goes, then we'll like lure them over here. Right. And then it was like our turn. He's like, so get ready and get in the cage. And so they came over to our boat and they were gigantic. They were giant great white sharks. And what area did you go? What part of?
I was up in Hermanus.
Yeah, that's where I went.
2 hours up the coast.
Yeah, that's where I went.
And that place, it's beautiful. Like so pretty. But it's so funny how they don't chum the water. I think that's illegal, but I think like you said, like fish oil, or I think it was salmon oil or something. And you're like in the water waiting for these chokes, like choking on this like salmon oil. But at the same time, you're like, oh, this is great. Like, it's kind of nasty.
Like, well, my omega-3 fatty acids are getting pretty high now.
Doing well.
I don't need to supplement fish oil for the next 6 years. But yeah, and the water is also like 50 degrees. It's so cold.
It's freezing. Yeah. I think one side is warmer than the other, but it's pretty cold. And when I was there this past trip, my family on my mom's side, they had this thing where they go and get in the water, the ocean. And it's apparently like this thing now. It's kind of like doing a ice bath, but you can go do it in the ocean because it's so cold
enough.
And so they would like drag us out there like in the evening or in the morning, and we would just go chill in this like freezing water for 20 minutes. And you come out and you feel amazing. I mean, you're shaking because you're absolutely freezing, but it kind of picked up as a thing last year in quarantine. And so you'll see these people chilling in the water, and then they come out, put these robes on and go get a coffee, and like that's their morning.
Wow.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's too cold of water for me. Did what was the gym that you would work out down there?
Cape CrossFit. So it was a great gym. The guy who runs Cape CrossFit also ran Fittest. Justin, I don't know his last name. Not Justin. What's his name? Chris. There you go. And then I also have some family friends that go there. So I trained with them.
Do they embrace you, or, like South Africa, as like you're one of theirs, or are they kind of like, here comes a ringer? You know, she's coming in from America to just like steal our place here.
I think I got the ringer side of it. My friends and family that I knew were obviously very supportive and super great over there. But I wasn't a local favorite. People didn't know me. And that definitely, I think, showed a bit, and that's fine. And I understand it. But, you know, I don't think anybody's going to give up their opportunity to take a game spot to be nice. It's like
right.
everybody wants that spot. So it's okay if they didn't love me being over there, but I played by the rules.
Yeah,
so.
It doesn't matter. It's and that's the thing. I mean, I've been a proponent of that all along. Like, whatever you have to do to get there, it's at the end of the day when people are like, you're not following this is not, but it's a made up sport. It's like people always say like, oh, this is like, people say to me all the time that don't know CrossFit. They're like, CrossFit's a sport? That's ridiculous, dude. And I'm like,
Yeah.
You follow a game where a bunch of guys run around on a painted wood floor and throw a rubber ball through a ring with a net. It's all silly. All sport is silly. It's play and it's silly. Golf is like you hit a little white ball from they cut the grass super short and there's a hole in the ground. All sport is silly. That is why we do it, because we're all monkeys living on a rock and we have to figure out things to do to make fun. And so anyone that ever wants to argue about, well, that's not a real sport, they're out of their mind. Sport is whatever you make it be. And, and I think like when it comes to like the rules, it's like rules change all the time and there's different this and there's different that. And, my just greatest fear would be going down there and like, I'm surprised that South Africa, I would just think that it would almost be like you wouldn't have the competition that you would need to push you, because they just wouldn't be as good as, some places they are, like Australia, they're amazing, but I would worry that South Africans don't have it. But do they have a lot of good competitors?
They do. Yeah, they have good competitors. And I think it's definitely growing over there. Out of all the continents, Africa only got one spot, which I don't completely think is fair. I definitely think there was another spot or two to be deserved. Mm-hmm. Especially, I don't think any other continent got
just one.
I think we're the only ones who got one spot. But I mean, I might be wrong on
that. But you were top. You were in the Open. You were like...
in worldwide in the Open, I think I was like 186 or something.
I thought you were higher than that.
I might have been. I can't even remember. I don't know. I have to look.
I thought you were higher than that.
But yeah, I still like, it's not like I went to the competition and it was like a cakewalk. Like I still had to compete against these girls. I still had to beat them out on these workouts and like place myself really well to win.
And there's another girl from there that's amazing too. That makes
two girls, Dina and Michelle.
Michelle, what's Michelle's last name?
Moran.
Yeah.
And then Dina Swift. Yeah. Okay. And both of them have been to the games.
Yeah.
So they qualified like the last couple of years.
Oh, so that's really tough. I mean, and you're taking a risk going all the way there to compete. Yes. And yeah, that's a lot of money to spend.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of risk, like you said, especially with COVID, traveling, getting sick. I got sick Sunday morning. Like I had a stomach bug. And I was just like holding on so hard for that, like those last two workouts.
What day? You got sick day of.
Yeah, Sunday, the morning of. I woke up the last day and I was like, all right, let's do this. Like, great.
Oh my God.
So yeah, and that trip itself like takes a big toll on you. And so coming back, I had a few down days, but they were also super high work days for me. And then I went right back into another prep. So that is like a lot, but it's this whole season. It's just been like one thing right to the next. But yeah, it definitely wasn't like, I do think it was less competitive than maybe what the States would have been. And I know that, and I know that I'm going into a super competitive field, but we have good athletes out there for sure.
Yeah. The only thing I mean by that, I'm not saying that you weren't deserving. I mean, sometimes when you have this like level of competition of like so many people, it just makes you rise to the occasion, and your numbers and everything are far superior to what you would do. So like you would have done better in the United States than you do there, because you don't have the level of competitiveness. As far as getting sick, how did you compete when you were, let's be honest, it's a stomach bug, but let's go. Was it out the mouth or out the other end? What?
The other end.
Oh, man, I don't know what's worse.
That morning, that workout was D-ball like cleans, and I knew
that
if I was going to keep up with Dina next to me, I was going to have to go touch and go, because she's like, she can handle that weight so much better than me. So I was just like praying that I was going to get through that workout.
You're not going to be a meme.
Mess anywhere.
Yeah, you're not going to be a meme.
Yes, but I get a really good adrenaline rush when I compete, and I think that's just kind of like my survival mode took over, and I was fine, and I ended up winning that workout, and it was good. But yeah, that just part of travel.
Well, I've been doing stand-up comedy 26 years or something, and a couple times I've had like flu bug. It's not a flu bug. It's called the neurovirus, when you have like, when you're shitting and puking or whatever. And a couple times I've had it where I've been able to go up and perform for an hour. And then the second the show's over, I'm running to the bathroom, like running. Yeah. And it's because the adrenaline just subsides and your body's like, hey, we're back. Yeah, it's time to get to the bathroom, dude. One time I was in the bathroom after a show just puking. And I hear a guy come in the bathroom, and he's with his buddy, and I guess they saw my shoes underneath the stall. And the guy goes, hey, that's the comedian. Because they hear me like going, bleh. And I hear the other guy go, he's probably on drugs. And I was like, yeah, that's it. I'm on drugs.
Definitely.
But did your coach travel with you? Mike go with you?
He did, yeah.
Oh my God, that poor guy. So he was having a baby.
Yeah, so he was his wife was pregnant, having a baby, and we weren't sure when she was going to have it, because her last two were premature. And he actually flew out the Wednesday of. So he flew out Tuesday. He got in Wednesday evening. We registered Thursday, competed Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and flew out Monday. So he was there for like 6 days. And like, that's so much travel within 6 days. Like, that's just like how great my coach is. He was like, I'm not going to miss this. Like, I have to be
good
there.
For him. And then the baby was born when?
Last Monday.
So like the day he got back? Timing. The day he got back?
No. The like 2 weeks after he got back.
Okay.
But it was like good timing, because we've got the games now in like 3 weeks. So that's kind of like one thing that's like, all right, cool, it's done, it's happening. Yep. Like, we're good to go, and we can work on to the next thing. Yeah, that's awesome. And then you guys spent a lot of money then. Like, do you have good sponsors? I have a very good sponsor. I'm with Born Primitive, and awesome. They sponsored me through the trip and helped out with that. But it is a ton of money, just the travel itself. It's insane. So I used what sponsorship money I got for some things, and then the rest of it was out of pocket. And then I won that $5,000, which was awesome, but that covered some of my trip fees, my registration fees for Cape Town and the games, and then that money goes right over to paying for Madison. So yeah, and Madison, people don't understand how much you guys invest in this. And I'm sure, especially financially. Yeah. I'm sure it's going to pay off with sponsorship and everything, because I've seen it before with, with the other athletes, and especially the girls. For some reason, the sponsors like you guys a lot better than the guys. I'm not me. I know they do. The women know, and I think it all has to do with Instagram, because you just look at the average top CrossFitter, female CrossFitter, to the average male CrossFitter, like top CrossFitter. And I don't mean average. I'm saying look at the top female CrossFitters compared to the top male CrossFitters, and your Instagram numbers just crush theirs. Right. And it's one of the only sports where that happens. Yeah. And so, I think the sponsors. It's one of those things, though. It's like you kind of just have to roll with it, because getting a sponsorship is so hard in general, and like you have to get yourself into certain positions and into a certain level before companies are even going to consider you. Right. And so it's like, once you get that, and it helps pay for these competitions and helps get you where you want to be. It's like, well. Works. So you have to either be really good or be a loudmouth like Hunter. Either one. Yeah. I do have to commend Hunter, and he just won the High Rocks National Championship. So that's awesome. He talks a lot, but sometimes he wins. So he's there you go. No one can come close to him. He evens it out just a little bit. Yeah. He's
I never like to compliment him. I absolutely hate to compliment him. So he's one of my best friends in the world, but he's such a pain in the ass. And but he did. I think it was this week he won. And I don't even know what it is, but it's high rocks, and he's good.
I was gonna say I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds legit.
It's basically like CrossFit, but a race. Running is involved in it. Like CrossFit, there's sometimes rowing. There's sometimes the high rocks is like you run from station 1 to station 2. It's kind of like Tough Mudder and all those things, but the events, the stations are all CrossFit type events. Like it'll be like, snatch and something else, and then you go to the next one and it's like wall balls, and then you run but there's a lot of there's a lot of running involved, and so that alienates a lot of CrossFitters.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
a lot of CrossFitters go, I'm out as soon as they see running. Guys, I just want to mention that today's podcast is brought to you by Naked Nutrition. Yeah, and you're like, what does naked mean? You want to know? Well, for supplements, it means no artificial additives. It means the fewest and purest ingredients, so you know exactly what's going on in your body. And you guys know me. What do I like? I like 2 things. I like being naked. I like going naked. That's right. And Naked Nutrition, what do they have to offer? Okay, here's the deal. Back in the year 2014, a former college athlete didn't understand how protein powders could be healthy. If you need a chemistry degree to read the ingredients list. So go look at most of your protein that you guys all get and look at the ingredients section. You're going to be like dextrose, rush, sulfate, tefina, diesowitz, chachine, fine, and mosha. Yeah, and you're going to be like, what is that? What am I putting in my body? Well, Naked doesn't do that. This guy started Naked Nutrition with 5 single ingredient supplements. One of them was the 1 ingredient grass-fed whey sourced from California dairy farms. I personally take that protein every single day, and I am pretty strict about what goes into my body. I take it. I looked. I did my research. I found Naked Whey, and I was like, this is the cleanest protein out there. Not only is it clean, it's delicious. And I used to do it with coconut water. I switched just to water because it's good tasting enough, and I don't need the extra calories from the coconut water. So I just put it straight into water. You blend it up, and boom. My kids drink it. I give it to my kids every day. It is it's just great. You just know how healthy it is, how it has nothing bad. Now, Naked has not just protein powders. They have 40 different products, including a wide range of protein powders, but they've also got supplements, and their commitment to transparency and the fewest and purest ingredients remain the same. So if you're working towards a new 1-rep max or improving your burpees or hitting a new PR on the rowing machine, what you put in your body directly impacts how you feel and the results you get. Naked Nutrition is committed to shortening the steps between their farms and you. All right, here's what I want. You want to get Naked and save 10% on your first order using the code WODcast10 at nakednutrition.com. That's 10% on your first order using the code WODcast10. Get the giant tub of protein powder. That's what I do, and I go through it in about a month. It's gigantic, but we do so much. I do 2 shakes a day at least. Nakednutrition.com. Again, WODcast10, you're going to save 10%. Nakednutrition.com. It's nutrition with nothing to hide.
All right.
Yeah, Hunter is a he comes from a running background, so he's a really good runner, and it's really easy for him. I mean, he's a freak when it comes to running. He's trying to break the world record right now in the Clydesdale Marathon. That's his newest thing. So
Jeez.
I think it's about 2:30 he's got to run, and he's weighing about 215 pounds. So it's pretty impressive to watch him move.
That's insane.
Yeah. How is your running?
It's getting better.
Yeah.
Running is like not my favorite. Like I just don't like athletically, like I don't think my body was built for it, but it's part of the game. So it's part of my training. I'm running a lot more now than I do usually in the off season. So it's probably something that we got to bump up throughout the year.
What do you do? Do you go and do track workouts?
It just depends on like the cycle that I'm on.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna have a track session, I think this Sunday. But right now Mike has me running like 3 times a week, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time it's in Metcons
Mm-hmm.
or it's in like a long conditioning piece.
Right.
So, yeah.
That was one of the things I saw about Matt Frazier that I found really impressive, was how he tackled running and how he became, like, you just look at his body and the way he's built and you would go, this guy could never, ever run.
Right.
And
yeah.
he was so good at it after he really worked at it and really got good at it. The other thing I see is the swimming. Like, CrossFitters just don't swim well.
Yeah. So, swimming, I'm good at. Swimming, I have like a more of an advantage, but agreed. It's like, I don't know if it's like just the muscle mass. Like, I think it is way more challenging for CrossFitters than maybe it should be. But like you put swimming with something like D-ball cleans or burpees, and it's like, am I even fit? Like your heart rate just spikes. It's like a whole nother type of working out. So
do you practice swimming in Lake Norman at all?
I do sometimes. Yeah. Right now I've been swimming in a pool, but I've done a few open water swims. I usually like drag someone into that session because I don't want to swim in the lake by myself. But
I swim in the lake a lot. I'll do like long swims, like a mile swim or something. And I carry one of those swim buoys with me.
Smart.
Because 1, I don't want to get hit by a drunk boater. And 2, I just know there could be this like one day where I'm just like, I'm choking or I'm cramping or something. And I just don't want to be the guy that just drowned in Lake Norman. That's how it happened. But can I advise that you don't swim in it for the next few days?
Why?
You didn't see the news?
No, bro, I've been training. What's going on?
Oh boy. Somebody broke a pipe and 405 gallons of sewage, raw sewage, went into the lake. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yep.
That's disgusting. Wait, what are people going to do for the 4th of July?
I don't know.
This is like a known thing.
It was yesterday. It was yesterday. It was on the news. And so where my in-laws live, we are, as the crow flies, like almost like across the street from where it happened. However, via, you know how Lake Norman is with all these little inlets and everything, we are so far away because it's like all the way around all these little inlets. We're so far away from where it happened. But still, like
just now.
405 gallons of I was on stage last night and the owner was like, I wouldn't joke about that at all. Do not joke about that. And I got on stage. I was like, it's good to be here in Mooresville. And I go, Lake Norman, really nice. Heard you got some shitty water though. And the audience was like, whoa.
You have to use that. That's brilliant.
Yeah. But there are some nice little inlets you can do your long swims in. And Madison, it's an inevitability. You're getting those.
Yeah.
Have you gone to Madison to watch the games at all?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go until I was going to compete. Like, I was just like, I'm going to go and I'm just going to get like jealous. I'm just going to want to be on the floor. Like when.
Well, good for you, because I had that same policy about Saturday Night Live. I was like, I would be invited by friends to go watch it. And I'm like, nope, I'm not going till I'm on Saturday Night Live. And I auditioned for it and I didn't get it. And so I still have never gone. And I'm like, fuck them. I'm never going. Never, ever, ever am I going to watch Saturday Night Live. I think I even stopped watching it on TV.
I like it.
So I'm glad you made it. You did what I didn't do. But I can tell you from Madison, it gets hot in Madison. It gets really,
does it?
Yeah. Like I've gone a couple times, and it's hotter than I would expect. Being, you think Wisconsin, but it's on the water, so you think I get a breeze. It's hot, so be prepared.
Is it humid?
No, not like. I mean,
it's humid here. It's nasty here.
It's awful. Like,
yeah.
I just worked out at your gym the past couple days, and I'm like, am I dying? I think like my heart rate goes higher than it. I check my watch and I'm like, my maximum heart rate, I just went past it by like 20 beats per minute. Am I in cardiac arrest? I often wonder what's harder,